Hey, I'm William, and on this channel, we work harder, not smarter. Meet Zeddicus, an inexperienced wizard with a simple goal. Plainly spoken, he wants to defeat every dungeon in Wizard101 in order of their release. With over 49 distinct-ish dungeons, it gets complicated later, but for now don't worry about it, our goal is a lofty one. Come along for the ride as we travel through the eras of Wizard101 and induce both nostalgia and a minor trauma response. This is Wizard101 Chronological. Welcome back to Wizard101 Chronological. Apologies for not putting out a video last week. There was an internet service outage, and then a water main broke, and all in all, I was pretty thrown off utility-wise. That aside, today Zeddicus is up against the Vault of Ice, a dungeon which, for the astute among you, will realize is a place where there will be a lot of ice magic thrown at us. For those among you who aren't as astute, I'll just tell you right now, we're likely going to have a lot of ice magic thrown at us. Let's delve back into the story and figure out just why it's imperative we head into the Vault of Ice. On a large scale, we're still chasing after Malastare, who has taken the Croconomicon so he can re-alive his dead wife Sylvia. Professor Winthrop sent us to the Crocosphinx to meet the Order of the Fang, a group of Tuts who stand against the rest of the Tuts and oppose their caste system. Before we can gain their assistance about locating the Croconomicon, we first have to help them gain an upper hand in the Tut War, lest the other Tuts spread to all of the worlds of the Spiral and enslave everyone. Initially, I was gonna make a joke about how this dungeon is kind of just a fetch quest, but given that the alternative is seeing the universe enslaved by lizards, it's probably good that we're taking care of them now. To that end, once we have reunited all the members of the Order of the Fang, it falls to us to enter the Vault of Ice, and retrieve a powerful relic, the Golden Fang, before the enemy does. What does the Golden Fang do? This is unclear. It's imperative that we get this relic because it's powerful in the hands of the Crocs, and if we don't get it, the Tuts will. And at this point, the developers would really appreciate if you stopped asking so many questions and just got the Golden Fang already. As soon as we enter the Vault of Ice, we are tasked to speak with our useless tag-along for this dungeon, Shalek the Wise. Which, I'm not trying to be a hater, but what's up with his eyes though? Seriously, they look both diseased and bloated, and they didn't always used to look like this either. This was an artistic decision someone made. Shalek the Eyes aside, we need to defeat the Keeper of the Fang, a banshee who's ensconced herself in a room behind 3 locks. To break these locks, we must first defeat the 3 other banshees and solve a puzzle after each one's been defeated. Now I don't want you to worry, it is as you'd hoped. All 3 subordinate banshees speak in rhyme. Very menacing intentions behind the rhyme, but it makes their threats feel more whimsical. Also, if you'll remember how I said the Vault of Ice uses a lot of ice magic, yeah, that was a bold-faced lie on my part. Every enemy we are required to defeat in the vault, all 8 of them, are death magicians. They use primarily death magic. They do sometimes use ice magic, but it's not like that's who they are on the inside. Now, if you feel you've been wronged by my dishonesty, I direct you to the comments below. Regardless, after defeating the 3 banshees, each provides us with a puzzle designed for children to be able to solve them. Which is why I messed up on the first one on my first try. I was going too quickly, and now I really look like a fool from how high I was on my horse in the last episode. The moral of the story is that karmic justice is real, and it is petty. After defeating the 3 subordinate banshees, we return to the previously locked door and prepare to square off against the Keeper of the Fang for the supposedly powerful Golden Fang. And you can tell this boss banshee means business, because she has a different color scheme, and more importantly, she does not rhyme. In spite of all this, she's just a slightly more tanky version of the previous 3, and she goes down as they did before her. With her defeat, we collect the Golden Fang, which is really quite important because they never made an art asset for it. Just trust that the nebulously powerful relic looks cool, okay? Petty gripes aside, we return to Shalek with the Fang. He confides in us that he hopes it never needs to be used, which... wait a second, hold on now. I thought that the Fang was the upper hand the Order of the Fang needed in order to drive back the Tuts. You're telling me this whole dungeon was designed to play keep away? Why don't you just leave the Fang in the care of the banshees if that was the case? So that was the Vault of Ice. Despite its simplicity, I like this dungeon fairly well. Yes, it's rather straightforward, but that's not always a bad thing, especially this early in the game. Giving players a chance to get some quick levels in exchange for fighting a boss rush can be a real boon. You're giving the player a sense of accomplishment and wrapping it up in a thematic bow. And despite my earlier mockery of them, I remembered after all these years the banshees rhymed. If an enemy can be memorable, I think that's always a plus. And because one of the puzzles stumped me, I'm going to award a bonus point to the Vault of Ice as well, for a final score of 8 out of 10 MacGuffins that lack guard assets. Thanks for your patience with my delay in upload. Sometimes life catches us off guard like that. I've been really enjoying this series thus far, and I'm glad that it looks like you all are as well. If you feel so inclined, like and subscribe. Have a nice day.